Hey everyone, so today I just wanted to try and give you some thoughts on strategy for when we're all back on the golf course. Give you there's many things, but I'll give you a few sort of key things that that sort of most people do wrong. Most people cost themselves many shots by doing making these decisions. So the first one is when somebody's got a long way to go to the green, they just hit as far as they can. Now, sometimes good idea, usually not. So if somebody, their longest fairway shot is 200 yards and they've got 260, 270 yards to go, to just hit as far as they can. It doesn't really, even if they hit a good shot, it doesn't really give them that much advantage over hitting one that's a little bit more consistent and will go 10, 20 yards shorter. And number two, it brings in a huge amount of risk. So a lot of people will hit their 3-wood from the fairway as an example, because that's the longest club they've got for their fairway shots, and it's often a bad idea because it'll be less consistent. You'll hit more bad shots, you'll hit more offline. So first thing, usually a rescue wood is a good idea if you've got a long way to go but you can't reach. Rescue wood is better than 3-wood. The next sort of most common fault, I guess, with strategy is that people just always aim for the flag or for the center of the fairway, and usually it's a bad idea. Usually you're better off trying to think, right, if the flag is on the right hand side, then don't miss it to the right, or if the flag is on the back, don't miss it long. So the great question to ask yourself is, what's the easiest place to sort of get down into from if I miss the green, and what's the hardest place? So if the flag was at the back, as I say, if you go over the back of the green, it makes it a really difficult shot coming back. So think ahead like that. And the same thing with hitting into the fairway. If you've got semi-rough and sparse trees on the right hand side and out of bounds or water on the left, don't go for the center of the fairway, go for the right hand side of the fairway, and that makes it so that your percentages go up a lot. And then I guess sort of one more thing that would help with strategy would be just to sort of not take on shots that Rory would struggle with. I see it so often. I'll be coaching somebody and they'll say to me, I was doing well and I had a 10 and a 9. I was like, okay, wow, tell me about your 10. And they say, well, it's the bad drive, hit it in the trees. I'm like, okay, go on. And then they say, well, okay, I tried to go for this little gap in the trees and it hit the tree and went further back in. It's like, okay, well, that's probably not the tee shot that was your problem. It was more the fact that you thought you could get through a gap a foot wide that's 10 yards ahead of you. And then they carry on and they say, well, then I chopped it out, and then when I got near to the green, I thinned it through the green, chipped back on and 3-putted. And it's like, well, actually your drive wasn't the problem. You go around the golf course with Rory, Sergio, people like that, Adam Scott, people like that, who are best drivers of the ball in the world. They hit it in the trees, they hit it in the rough all the time, but the difference is they don't then compound the problem. They don't go for these tiny gaps unless the percentages are very high, or they rarely do anyway, even with the skill that they've got. And then the big thing is that when they get near the green, they tidy it up, they get up and down, or they don't then sort of 3-putt. So it's about sort of good decisions and good short game really with that sort of thing. So I hope that gives you some ideas. There's many more. Please send some questions in and I'll address things that you want to talk about. Okay, thanks.